Hi and welcome to Podpadstudios. I'm back out here in the workshop and we are starting on another project which is going to be really interesting. It's been mega busy at the moment, I must admit. We've got the big show in September and we've been kind of getting things ready for that and prepping for that, and Mrs. Breaker's been doing a huge amount of work on that one. And just other projects which just need to go out the door and they need to get off to people. But I'm back in here. So after the success of our tank and our tank transporter, we are going to do some more 1/6 scale. Now, we've got a couple of pieces in the pipeline that we're looking at, and obviously we just need to look at the funding for those, but they're going to be really, really exciting. This one, though, is quite interesting. It's going to be something a little bit different. Now, as you notice, there's no tracks. I've basically got to the point where I've got a frame kind of welded up and I've got the motor and I've got the drive system kind of in, and I'm building at the moment a kind of a different type of suspension. Obviously it all looks a bit crude at the moment because it's in the process of being built, but it's much more flexible than the other two in that I've actually got, it's hard to see on the camera, but as well as the leaf springs that I've got here, I've got coils as well. Now on the tank transporter, I found out how I was struggling a bit with weight. Obviously the different weights when the tank goes on the trailers and whatever. So I found the combination of the leaf springs and the coil springs worked brilliantly, really, really well. But the problem is I had to then calculate which springs to use. Now on this system, they're fully adjustable. So I've basically made my own adjustable shocks in here. And it means that I've got much more flexibility in getting the ride heights perfect on this one. Although this one isn't really going to be designed for kind of off-road use. It's based, or it's loosely based on the, I can never pronounce this, the Rosenbauer? The Rosenbauer? Rosenberg? No, it's not got a G in it. Rosenbauer Panther 6x6 Fire airport crash tender. Now that is going to be roughly the size and the chassis. And if you can get an idea of this, this is upside down obviously at the moment, but it gives you an idea of scale in terms of, if I just sort of come around here and get my tape measure, gives you an idea of scale here. So across the wheels, once we get the mud guards and the bodywork on, we're looking at basically 600 mm across. Now in terms of length, we're looking already, this is just on the chassis, we're looking at about, once the cab goes on, in the region of around about 160, 170. Yeah, so that's, it's just short of 2 meters long. And then height wise, it's going to be about 400 to 500 high. So it's kind of a boxy kind of shape. You know, the sort of futuristic crash tenders that you see at airports. If you think about that, and then you think about those crash tenders meets Thunderbirds, then you'll get an idea of what this eventually is going to look like. It's going to have some interesting features on it as well. The water cannon system, I actually want it to be really significant to actually be able to put a fire out. So, but I haven't worked out how I'm going to do that yet, because it obviously needs to use high pressure water systems. I want it to be able to spray the water at least 4 or 5 meters from the actual unit. We're going to watch weight on this one. So I'm not, obviously everything you can see here, chassis is obviously steel. And then obviously here on the linkages on the front, this is the same as we did the other one. It's very, very straightforward. It's very simple, but it gives me a good angle of turn on this one. And then obviously that will be linked via a linkage to a big chunky servo at the front that will turn this. The motor at the back this is a 300 watt motor, this one. So a little bit more powerful than the tank transporter, but the tank transporter's obviously got two 250s, I think. Well, yeah, I think they're 250s on the tank transporter. So yes, it has more power because it has to pull more weight. This doesn't, so it's a slightly smaller motor. And I'm only using one motor. I'm not going with 4-wheel drive on this one. I'm just going to have 2-wheel drive. Because again, surfaces that it's going to go on, I don't think it's going to be necessary. Although, that might change. You never know. We'll see. So that's where I'm at so far with this. Possibly people will get to see this one before Christmas. I don't know yet. Depends on the schedules that come back to me and how quickly I've got to get it finished. At the moment, I've got plenty of time. So I'm thinking through things and I'm solving problems as I'm going, which is really, really good. So yeah, more 6-scale models, which is it's really good. It's also quite nice working at this scale. I was asked by a few people, what about the big tank? As I had talked about a quarter scale tank. Now, it's kind of in the planning stage, so to speak, because bear in mind a quarter scale tank is nearly 2.5 meters long by it's enormous, and there's a lot more cost involved with building that because simply the drive motors have to be up to moving in effect what is going to weigh probably about 300 odd kilos by the time it's finished. So it's on the drawing board. It might happen, it might not happen. I might stay with 1/6 scale, I don't know, because there's still plenty that I could play around with at this scale. So yeah, that's where we're at the moment. Obviously, like I said before, the big event is September. And for you guys, probably the first weekend, which is the 21st and 22nd of September, that's when you want to be basically in Swindon, because you're going to get the opportunity to see all our stuff in one place. And it isn't going to happen again. This is it. It's a one-off this. You can come down, you can see the things, it's going to be fun in a great location right in the heart of Swindon, which is, it's really nice that we've been able to get this space. So anyway, I better get on with some work and start building and doing more. If anybody has any ideas, please comment below on how I can do the water cannon system, because at the moment, I'm not talking about silly little water pistols. I want a water jet that can come from this and run out at least 3 to 4 meters from this unit. And I'd like it that we could have like a foaming effect on it as well. So what comes out isn't just like a stream of water, like a hose pipe, but it's kind of like a foam watery jet that comes out from the front of it, like you see on the big airport crash tenders. I want that bit to be as authentic as I can get at this scale. So if anybody's got any ideas, comments below, please. Pressurized water systems, I don't know. I've never built anything like that, so I'm going to be experimenting with that one. So there you have it so far. Well underway.